Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emma and my house is haunted.
She asks her questions, waits to hear from the spirits that are hauntingly near. Talks to ghosts any place, day or night. If you love spooky, you'll love what's life. This is spooky what's life. This is spooky what's life. This is spooky what's life.
So a lot of you have been asking me for this video for ages, and I do apologise that it's taken me so long, but a lot of you still don't know the story behind my haunted house. So I'm going to go into full detail with you today and let you know how it all began. But I'm not alone. Today I have with me Dexter. If any of you don't know who Dexter is, he is an EMF teddy bear. So basically, if a spirit touches him, he will light up and make a sound. I have the spirit music box, and if a spirit goes near that or touches that, then I'm good. Thank you so much. But just hold on a second, because I'm going to introduce you in a second. Anyway, the spirit music box is on, so if something touches that or goes near that, a little creepy sound will play. And I've also got a light up ball that randomly flashes. It's actually my daughter's, but I thought I'd bring it up here because it randomly just goes off, which makes me think maybe a spirit is playing with it. So I brought it up here as well. And the voice, the creepy voice that you've just heard, is the Ghost Tube app. So you recently touched the ball? Because about 2 hours ago it was going off, hence why I decided to bring it up. Creepy. Anyway, ghosts can communicate through the app, and that's how we're communicating with them. So Tyler has already come through. Tyler! Oh shit, Tyler. Oh, Jesus. About peed myself. So Tyler is here. Oh, the ball's going off. The ball's going off. The ball's going off. Ugh. Creepy. So just so anyone knows, I've picked this up, and you have to really press it quite hard for that to go off. And that is not a piece of paranormal equipment, by the way. You can just buy them from any store. So we know that Tyler is here right now, or there could be more. Who knows? So Tyler is here. We don't know who else is here. We might get a few more come through, but we will see. But I'll tell my story, and then if anyone wants to jump in and communicate, because you probably know more of the story than I do. So the story goes way back 3 years ago when I first purchased this house. So I just split up with my daughter's father, and I was looking for a house to buy, just me and my daughter. And I found this one. Thank you. So I found this one and I immediately liked it. Now, a lot of people are going to be surprised, but this is a brand new house. This is a modern house. So this is a new build. So you wouldn't even think that this house would be haunted. There's nothing creepy about it. It's not old, and it's 3 years old. When I bought it, I was the only person that has lived in this house. However, this new build house is on a very small estate, and the small estate before that was a forest. The forest maybe potentially has something to do with it. So it was built on top of a forest, and maybe some shit went down in that forest. I don't know. But maybe that's the reason. You can also still see part of the forest when I'm looking out now. So I'm looking out onto my garden, and the back fence leads onto a forest. So obviously most of the forest has been cut down, but there's still a small forest at the back of my house. I don't go in that little forest. It's very hard to get to because you have to literally climb through bushes, and it's not maintained. It's not a public forest. Hardly anyone goes down there. So I've never actually been in that forest. However, my garden backs on to the forest still. But most of the forest was torn down because they built these houses on it. Now, the only other thing is you've got the forest, and then on the other side of the road, there's a cemetery. So that could be why I get a lot of activity. Maybe pressing that is them saying yes. And then further down the road as well is a funeral director's. So we have multiple things, but doing research on this village actually has its own paranormal team, and the actual village is apparently all haunted. Apparently it's a very haunted little village. The fact that it's got its own paranormal team that just go round this one village is crazy. And I didn't know this before moving here. I'm not going to name where I live, and I hope nobody can guess this from what I'm saying, but I went on Facebook and went onto my village, like the name of my village, and they have a group. But most people will have a group, like let's just say Manchester. You'll have a Manchester group, right, on Facebook. Mine has the name and then paranormal. So the actual village doesn't have a group. It's just a paranormal and then the village. So I found that very interesting. But the people that live in the village have often put comments and said their reports of seeing spirits. The main one, apparently there is a headless woman that walks up and down the street and then just disappears. A lot of people have seen her apparently. And that's the other side of the village, mind you, as well. So that one apparently happens a lot. And then there is just numerous reports from other people's houses saying that they've seen this or this has happened to them. They think it's really strange. So apparently the whole village is just haunted as a whole. So that is maybe why. And again, I don't want to say too much about where I live, but doing some research, there was apparently a factory. So this whole village just it didn't used to be homes, it used to be factories. And apparently one of the factories exploded and hundreds of people died. So, you know, that's probably why as well. So do I think that my house is just haunted alone? No, I don't. I think they travel and they sometimes come into my home and then they sometimes go to somewhere else. I think it's just a very spooky little haunted village. So anyway, I moved here 3 years ago, and probably the first thing that happened was I was with my daughter, who was about 10 months old, so she was literally a baby, and we were in her bedroom and I was changing her nappy and I was like blowing bubbles on her belly, and then we was like laughing and then I was doing it again. I'm just going to ignore that. I was blowing bubbles on her belly, and the next minute my baby, because she's a baby, she looks up at the corner and bursts out crying. And that really frightened me, because I was like, I looked up where she looked and it was in the corner. And I was like, what did she just see? Because she was laughing and giggling because I was blowing bubbles on her belly. And then she like looked up and just started screaming, like proper crying. So that was the first thing that happened, and I remember mentioning it to my dad, and he says, don't worry, babies do things like that all the time. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm a new mum. But then a couple of other things started happening, which was quite frightening at first. Okay. But then a couple of other things started happening to myself. So I moved in here and I started getting this thing called sleep paralysis. I'd never had it before and I'd never heard of it before. But I would be wide awake, laying in bed, but I couldn't move. But I'd be able to see things, like weird things. One of them was like really strange. It was like this massive bubble, like entered my room, and it just kept going slowly and slowly, reached the other side of the wall and then popped. And I would just be laying there looking at the bubble. And it's like I was awake but asleep. It was very strange. Then there was another night when, again, I thought I was dreaming, but it's apparently sleep paralysis. I was asleep and I think my arms were out like this, and I got pulled out of bed. So my body was half hanging out of the bed, and I was like, I woke up like, did I do that to myself? Did I throw myself out of bed? I know these things sound quite frightening, but nothing felt dangerous.
Philip.
Was that Philip? Flash, press or touch if it was Philip that pulled me out of bed. Shit.
Can you repeat?
Can you repeat? So that was Philip, was it? Anyway, Philip, bit rude. I didn't appreciate it. I ended up going to the doctors thinking this is really strange, and they put it down to sleep paralysis. Then I had a couple more weird things happen, like things moving right in front of my eyes, and I thought I was just going crazy. Pictures falling off the wall. It didn't happen every day or anything. It literally would only happen maybe once or twice a month. It wasn't on a regular basis. But then I spoke to... Sorry. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Philip, for apologising. I really appreciated that you apologised then, because that did frighten me. And that sorry means a lot. Anyway, I did speak to a friend about it, and she told me to try the GhostTube app. And I did. And I was quite shocked because every time I asked it a question, it kind of answered it like spot on. However, I'm still sceptical over the apps because you could say that they're AI. I am really 50-50. I'm sitting on the fence. I'm Switzerland with the apps. I enjoy talking on them. I enjoy speaking to the ghosts on them. But equally, could it be AI? Could it be a spirit? I'm not sure. That's why I did invest into some more paranormal equipment, and I do have an actual spirit box that I use when I go on my ghost investigations. However, the apps were helping me, and they still do help me because I feel comfort from them. And as time's gone on, the more I talk to the ghosts, the less they do to try and scare me, and actually the less afraid I am. So if your house is haunted, maybe try speaking to them. It certainly helped me. And I know it might be scary at first, but I can tell them to stop doing certain things and they do listen. Now, have I got lucky because I've got good spirits around me? That's a sign I've got good spirits around me. So I believe that spirits are they're just people that have passed on, and there's good ones and there's bad ones, but there was good and bad people. So I don't believe in like it's a demon. I think if a spirit is calling itself a demon, they're just trying to frighten you. I just believe that there's good and bad spirits because there was good and bad people, and some are nice and some are not so nice, and they're spirits that haven't fully passed over yet. So that's what I believe. Positively. Maybe that's more confirmation. So yeah, like I was saying, there's good and bad spirits, and I believe here in my house is good, positive spirits. Homeless spirits. Homeless spirits? I suppose you're all homeless, technically. Maybe you mean because it's like the spirits from the village, they don't live in one home, so they just wander the village, just popping into other people's houses, popping into their kitchen, making some food. Maybe you've gone to the kitchen now. Maybe you got bored and went and made yourself a snack. I have communicated a lot with spirits.
How many are there?
I have no idea how many there are. I've communicated with a lot of spirits, and I have a very strong connection with my spirit guides. So device. Yeah, I communicate a lot with spirits through the devices, but I have a very strong connection with my spirit guides.
I'm listening.
Is my spirit guide listening now? Yeah, I feel like I have a strong connection with my spirit guides. If you've seen any of my last vlogs or TikToks or my Instagram, for example, I feel like I have a spirit guide called Deborah, and I also have a spirit guide called Pam, but Pam is actually my grandma. So I believe that they protect me, and I'll show you an example of this because to me this gets me every time. So I'm going to show you a little video. I was doing a TikTok, but basically I was talking to a haunted doll which was trying to say it was a demon, so it was an evil spirit, and the next minute I know the door flings wide open, lets in the light, and then it says Pam. Too much of a coincidence, but at the exact same time it was like demon, and then the door flings open, light comes in, and it goes Pam. And then I think it also then says leave or something like that, but I'm going to play you that clip now.
Demonic.
Demonic. Great. Just what we needed. Get a demonic bloke. Run. Just told me to run. What was that? Starve? Well, Rose has got a plate of food if anyone wants any. Which one of you is a demon? I need to know who we're dealing with. Dinner. Someone's just, all they're doing is thinking about food. I think we're talking about lovely Rose because she has what looks to be a plate of porridge.
Don't trust her.
Don't trust her. There's that demon again. Oh my freaking Lord, have mercy. Which one is the demon?
Couch.
They're sat on the couch. Something.
Are you a friend?
Are you a friend? Yes. Tickle. You're tickling me. I feel like you are. So it's one of the ones on the sofa. Rose. Or it could be Amanda. It's Janet. I don't know why. I'm just getting that vibe. Right, come on, fess up. Which one of you is the demon? Right, am I going to have to get out the rods? So I want you to go in for yes and out for no. Is Rose the demon? Knocked down. Rose is not a demon. That is going crazy. The door's just opened. It's hidden. The door's just opened.
Angel.
My angel is here. Yeah. My angel is always here to protect me. Is the demon Janet? No. Is the demon Amanda? Yes.
You repeat.
It's Amanda. Pam. Don't start with Pam because that's my grandma's name. The door just flung open and I've got something behind it.
You're welcome.
Pam is my spirit guide. Tune. Yes, you've just played a nice little tune. So that is just an example of I feel protected in my home talking to spirits because I feel like I have a strong connection with my spirit guides. So even if an evil spirit does enter my house, I do feel that I'll be protected. If it ever gets too much though, I stop or I'll take a long break from it. I know how to cleanse my house. I have done it before because there was a time where I felt it got a bit too heavy. But anyway, if it ever gets too heavy, I will stop. I will tell the spirits to leave and they do listen. They do listen. I also have a daughter to think about and she is only 4 years old. And from the beginning, I said she was a no-go. I don't talk to spirits in front of her. She knows nothing about ghosts or anything. She's never mentioned anything. She's never said she's seen anything. She's never said she's heard anything. And in fact, my daughter sleeps with the lights completely off. And I'm like, do you not want a night light? She's like, no, turn the lights off. So my daughter is not scared in her home. And I think they haven't bothered her at all. But if they were to affect my daughter or myself in any negative way, that's it. Cleansed, completely cleansed. Spirits be gone. And obviously if it gets too heavy, I'll have to move. Although I like this little haunted village, it's quite nice. But anyway, that is the main story behind my haunted home, how it's come to be and why I'm living here. And I do like this village. I do. I know that sounds weird. I like living in this house and I like living in this village. But I am very careful. I know it doesn't look that way, but nobody sees behind the scenes and I am extremely careful because it's not me just living in this home. And, well, I've got to be careful with myself, but obviously I am triple careful because of my daughter and she lives here. I still get little things happen. In fact, today, like I said, the ball went off That's why I brought the ball up. And also my TV just turned on by itself, and my mum and my sister were here, so they saw that with their own eyes, and I was like, it's the ghost. The ghost is here. Maybe they knew I was going to do a story time today, but
I'm listening.
you're always listening. But on the whole, on a day-to-day, I don't have things happen all the time. They're rare, so that's why when people says just keep a camera on you all day, well, I don't know when it's going to happen. Like I said, it might happen once or twice a month. I'm not going to keep the camera on me 24/7. So if I do capture something, that was just really lucky of me that I was filming at that time. And there's sometimes I actually even say, like, that's enough now. Like, I want a little break. And then I don't hear anything for months. If you've got any questions about my spooky story time, please put them in the comments below and I will answer your questions. Once the video is live, I'm usually around for an hour or 2 hours to reply back to comments. But yeah, if you've got any questions, please do put them in the comments below and I will answer. I'm going to go downstairs and get a water. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!
This is Spooky Watts Life.